And we saw that for it has a specific output to the output screen. Okay. So what does it mean when we see this output here? Anybody? It's not a rhetorical question.
So the program is working, or what would you like us to say about the hello word? So if we see the hello word, it means it executed correctly, or is that not what you wanted to ask?
Well, yes, that is what I want. So if I see this hello world, the program is executing, but in a more particular way, what we see is this specific output. Okay, so this hello world that we see here is the hello world from this statement in line 7. Correct? So yes, my program is executing, but in particular, if I see hello world like that, then it means that this code executed. Okay, let's do another example just to prove that it's like that. You will see that from the website, that it has a get ch in there. Okay. So we are going to use that get ch. And then if you go on to the internet, you will see that one of the requirements for the get ch is con.io. Okay, so we need to just include the
There.
Yes.
Before you proceed,
sorry, I can't see who's talking.
It's Mojapa.
I'm just hearing you here and there.
Okay. I'll keep at the hands.
Yes, Mr. Mojela.
Yeah, before you proceed, from my side, I can't get the output. Can you please help me with that?
Sorry, you get the output, but?
I can't get the output after doing the programming. So can you be able to help me with that?
You don't get the output. What does it compile?
I beg your pardon?
Can you compile?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do you see once you've compiled? Did you press this gear and run thing? And when you press it, does it turn gray here?
Yes. Let me show you what is on my screen.
Okay,
you can be able to.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm using a 2 device, so I'm gonna share from the camera. Ne? Is it visible enough?
Yeah, okay, I can see, but you see there's a lot of red at the bottom. So you are not compiling. Yeah. So that means that you've not installed properly, first of all. Okay.
It's doing what?
You didn't install it properly. Did you install the Ming W?
Oh, so the problem is the installation.
It could be. I'm asking, did you install the Ming W version?
Yes.
Okay, if you install the Ming W version, then you can go to Settings, Compiler.
Okay.
Can you see on my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Settings, Compiler, and then it brings this up. And
yeah.
Then it should say GNU-C compiler at the top. And it doesn't, just go a little bit to the right.
To the right,
on your screen. You'll move your camera. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it doesn't say auto detect there.
Where?
No, I'm just seeing whether it says it. It seems like your installation is fine. From what I can see. So if you've installed it as Ming W, then everything should run fine.
Sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same problem that I had, but I went to toolchain executables, then I said auto detect, then it found the file. If you can just go to toolchain executable, then press auto detect, then I think it would find that folder for WinW.
Under which one?
Toolchains executables.
Where is the toolchain executables? Under which one?
Settings, compiler, then.
Okay. And then toolchain executables.
Yeah, executables.
Okay, yeah, and then you say auto detect.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Then you press auto detect.
Yeah. And then you should be able to compile. So settings, compiler. Then
But
here.
still, let me try to run it, but still doesn't do. Okay. Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for the help from, I'm not sure who it was.
Tabiso.
Thank you, Tabiso. Okay. So we have the statement get ch, and then we also have to include con.io. And now if we compile and run, you see that we don't have an output as yet. So that means that this line 8 has not executed. Okay, so other than my program is running, can you see line 8 has not executed? Mr. Majeda, you just need to close your microphone again. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, I want you to experience this, so just drop me a thumbs up if you can see in your console window when you run your program, if it's similar to mine, that line 8, the hello world part, is not reflected on the right-hand side. I don't want you to press a key. If you press a key, it will appear. I don't want you to press a key. I just want you to run the program and see that line 8 has not executed. The reason why it's not executing is because the getch is waiting for us to press a key. But it's important that you understand that if you don't see the output of line 8, that line has not executed as yet. Okay, thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it. Okay, and when you make this your active window by clicking on it and you press a key, then you'll see that that line now has indeed executed.
Sir.
Yes.
On line 3, you said hashtag include con.io.
Yes.
Because on my screen, it shows into two lines, first line and second line, hashtag include std as standard, I think stdio and stdlbh. So yes. I just want to know if you included you typed on line 3 included.
Yes.
Then it will show how your screen is previewed.
No, what this line does, this is the line that I need for the getch. Okay. If your system is set up like mine, you don't actually need any of these includes. It will run without them. But if your getch gives you undefined error, you have to include con.io.h. So the con.io and the getch, they run together. The printf and the standard IO runs together.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so how does it look on your side? Did you see when you press a key, this line now suddenly appears? Okay, so what is important from this little exercise that you take away from it is that a printf, other than just writing out to the console window, it also gives you an indication of what is happening inside your program. If that line, the printf line, has not executed, then it means that that part of your program has not run. Okay, so I'm just going to comment out this line. So whatever we put in here, when I compile and run, and I see the output of a printf anywhere in my program, so this can be anywhere in my program, and when I see the output in my console window, I know that that particular printf executed. That particular printf has made an output. Okay. So why is it important? Well, I can have a program that executes without any printf. So this is a program that executed. But because there's no output, I don't know what happened. I have no idea of what happened inside my program. So it's important to understand that a printf not only does it enable me to write things to the console window. But when I see specific outputs, I can make the conclusion that a specific printf has executed. So it's an easy way for me to find out whether some code is executing or not executing. Okay, so we will use this quite a lot in our way forward as a way to find out what's happening inside my program, because there's no ways in which we can know what's going on inside a program if we don't have outputs. So the printf is going to be that statement that outputs information about the state of the program, the state of the microprocessor, so that I can know what's going on. Okay. Another way to refer to it is to say I'm using a printf as a mechanism to debug my program, because if my program is running, the compiler is not going to tell me where an error is. Okay. So this is a way to find logic errors, meaning errors where I've programmed my program in the wrong way, other than compiler errors, which occurs when I make a mistake. Okay, so when I make a mistake and I compile and I get a red box here that says there's something wrong here, that is a syntax error. Okay. If I make another mistake in my programming, it compiles and runs. The only way in which I can figure out what's going on is to use printfs to help me with that. Okay, so my next question then is, where does the printf print out? Yes, I know it prints out in the console window, but is there a specific place in the console window that it prints out, or does it just print out anywhere? Again, I need an answer from someone in the class.
At 0.00. Or is that not what you really wanted to ask?
Yes, that is what I'm asking, but let's see. So let's make a second printf. Okay, so he said the printf prints at 00. So now to understand what he is saying, 00 is the upper left-hand corner of my screen. This first character where the D is printed, that is position 00. Okay, but this Q is not at position 00.
Because of the \n we entered going into the second row, meaning 01.
Yes, but can you refine your answer? Meaning that, yes, the first one prints at 00. And the ones thereafter? Now you're saying it's printing at 01. And what if I take away the \n?
It will print after the F.
Okay, so I again ask my question. Where is the printf printing out to?
The default cursor position.
Ah, Mr. Twala, is it you?
Yes.
Okay, you say it points out to
the default cursor position
at the current cursor position. Okay, so let's
Yes.
explore what Mr. Twala is saying. So, Mr. Mayer, you're not wrong. I just want you to refine it to exactly where. Okay. So I've put 2 get chs in there. So now, first of all, we need to understand what a cursor is. So this blinking thing here, this is the mouse cursor, the arrow thing. That is the cursor for this window. Okay, that blinking thing there. So that cursor is currently at position 0, 0. Okay. So now it's waiting with the get ch for me to press a key. And now I'm pressing a key, and you can see that it printed out. And currently, after the F, that is where my current cursor position now is. So where do I expect this second one to print out? At the current cursor position. So if I press a key, it went from there to the end, the program terminated, and then this termination code was written. Okay. So to come back to my original question, where in the console window is the printf printing out? And the thing that you need to understand is the printf prints to the console window at the current cursor position. So wherever the cursor is on the screen, it will print out to that particular position. Okay. It's very, very, very important that you understand that. So let's do another example where we've got the \n in here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is my current cursor position. It prints out the first one. It waits for me. Where's my cursor now? It was there before. Now it's at this position. Okay, and I press a key again, and now prints it here. Okay. Quickly repeat these examples and see for yourself. And then give me a thumbs up if you understand. If you don't understand, either raise your hand, open your microphone and tell me what's wrong, or drop me a quick message on WhatsApp so that I can see how we can help you. Okay, so what you should learn from this exercise is that the printf prints out to a specific position on the screen. That specific position is where the current cursor position is. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you, guys. Yes, go ahead.
So, is it a must that we must always have that get ch?
No.
In order for.
No. The get ch, all it does, it stops the program from executing any further until you press a key. So it's waiting for you for input. That's why I'm using it, so that it stops the program so that we can see step by step what is happening in the output.
Okay.
So that's the only reason why we're using the getch. The function of the getch, tomorrow we will explore it further. For the moment, all you need to know is the getch waits for the user, for you, to press a key. And at this point in time, you can't press any key. You can press any of the alphanumeric keys or the punctuation keys. If you press the arrow keys, then your program is not going to perform in the way in which you expect, as the arrow keys is working slightly different to what you know or understand at this point in time. Okay, so if you press like the space bar or any of the alpha characters or any of the numeric characters, it will give you the output as expected. Yes. Okay. We will come back to this and its specific meaning just now. You are correct. It is a way of controlling the cursor position. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put one in the middle here. And again, if we look at the output, you will see that now this line is broken into two parts. So this first one moves the cursor back to the beginning of the next line. And then this one moves the cursor again to the beginning of the next line. And then if I press, then the QWERTY part is printed and then the program terminates. Okay. So the \n is what we call carriage return new line. It makes the cursor go to the beginning of the next line. Okay, so the \n is new line, and carriage return. Okay, so not only does it go to the next line, but it also goes to the beginning of the next line. Okay, so you can see that the printf, not only does it output text, but it has some special control characters so that we can output or control the cursor position so that the text is output at the current cursor position. Okay. So if you go onto the internet, you can find some more information on the printf and various things that you can do with it. So you can see that carriage return is \r. This is new line and carriage return. If you say \a, it makes a sound. I don't know if that still works that way. This is backspace, so you can go back one space. If you want to do a double quote, it's \quote. \/ is to make a backslash. \/ single quote is to make a single quote. Okay, so let's explore those a little bit. Okay, so if I want to make quotes inside of okay, so this is normally the indication of the start and the end. So if we want to have double quotes inside the output, we have to say \. And for the moment, I'm just going to, let's just comment these out for the moment. We'll get back to them shortly. Okay, so you can see now we can do double quotes, double inverted commas by saying \, double inverted commas, \, double inverted commas. Otherwise, if we don't put them there, then the compiler is going to think that that is the end of my text. Okay, and then this is going to be an error because it's not expecting that. Okay, so if we want to have quotes, that's how we do it. Okay, the same for single quotes. Okay, and now we are going to do \r. Just as an experiment. Okay, so \r is a legacy one which is currently not used in this console output. Oh no, it is. No, sorry. It is doing what it's supposed to do. It's me, sorry. Can you see this first part? It's not here. So the \r is putting the cursor back to the beginning of the line. So carriage return. It's like the old printers where they had a head that moved from left to right when it typed. So it would go H, E, L, L, O, comma, space, and then it would go along like that. And if you say carriage return, then it returns to the beginning of the line. So \r is that go to the start of the line and then it starts retyping. So it overtypes whatever there was before. Okay, so \r moves the cursor back to the beginning of the line. And then whatever was there is now replaced by something new. Okay, so that's one way of controlling the cursor to go back to the beginning and staying at the same line and reprinting everything on that same line is to use \r. Now let's say I want to use a backslash. So you can't say backslash like that because then it's going to try and interpret whatever is there. So I need to put 2 backslashes like that, and then only one will be printed. So let's see that. So now you can see it prints 1 backslash. So what if you want to do 2 backslashes? Well, then you have to put 4 backslashes here. And then you can have 2. Okay. So we can control the printf, the output, by using the escape sequence \n, for instance, to move it to the next line. Okay, now I'm just going to do this and put a \n in the beginning here. And when we look at the output, we see the output and we see the cursor over here. And what do we expect now for the output? We expect this one to print at this position onwards, don't we?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see if I press a key again. Oh, it's printing over here. What happened?
So, sir, the position of the \n doesn't really matter when it comes to like. I agree. We expected on the first example you had, let's say for instance, hello world, and you put the \n between hello and world. Then yes, we expected the hello to be on position 000 and the world on the next line. So that's what correct. I'm trying to say is that the \n doesn't really position doesn't really determine if what is it? The text.
What is important to understand is that wherever the \n happens, the cursor is positioned in the next line in the beginning of the line. Doesn't matter where in the line it occurs. So in this case, here we see it's in the beginning, so it goes to the next line. We expected it to print there, but the \n is in the beginning, so it moves the cursor to the next line in the beginning, and therefore the QWERTY appears at the new position. That's what you wanted to say?
Yes. So it doesn't matter where you put it. It will just skip to the next line. The cursor will be on the next line.
Yeah. So
it print on the next line.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter whether I put it at the end of this line or the beginning of this line. What will happen is after printing this first line, it will move to the next line and then print the second line. So whenever you get a \n, that is where the output is going to happen.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any questions on the \n in the printf statement, what it means? How it is influencing the output? Yes. Go ahead. Or you're just putting up your hand. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask something, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
So if ever I wanted space, like I wanted to create a space between the first line and the second line, where should I position the \n?
Well, what does the \n do?
It enables me to write on the other line.
Okay, so if I want to have a space in between, what will happen if I do this? What do you expect? So the first \n is going to take the cursor over here. Then I get another \n. So it's going to go to the next line. So it skips one line.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir. I'm just going to have a look here. Yes, go ahead.
So basically, if you want to separate like a sentence, let's say, hello, he said, hello, how are you? If you put the \n in between there, the other part of the sentence will skip to the next line. But if it's one word like \QWERTY, okay, let's say it is, how can I put it? / he said, hello, how are you? The printf will just print the whole sentence in just one line.
Okay, so what you need to understand is what is the function of the \n?
Is to skip a line.
Is to move the cursor to the beginning of the next line. Okay, so let's just do this and put it here. Okay, this \n, what it did was to move the cursor from this position to the next line. Okay. And it doesn't matter where the \n appears. Whenever there is a \n, that is executed like a command, and it moves the cursor to the next line in the beginning. Okay, I'm not sure with the image that you are showing cell number ending on 3030 LM. I'm not sure with your image that you are showing, what is it that this image? Because you've got a \n here, it moves it from the first line to the second line. And then there's no \n, so it prints out all the text. And then it goes to this line, and it's then going to print out all of that text. So all of the text is in one line. So I'm not sure what you are asking. It's doing exactly what you are telling it to do in this line. Okay. Good. So you understand exactly now what's going on. Okay. Super. Okay, the last person who asked me this question as well, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is important to understand, wherever the \n is, that is a command, and that is executed. So even if I put it in here, it will execute it at that position. I like it when you guys experimenting. So went from here to the beginning of the next line, and then from here to the beginning of the next line. So you can see the cursor is waiting here, and then when I press a key, it's going to do the QWERTY part. It's doing the QWERTY part and then ends. Okay, everybody understand what is happening with the printf? Okay, good. So yes, the printf prints at 0, 0. The reason why it's printing at 0, 0 is because when my window opens, the default cursor position is position 0, 0. So why it prints at 0, 0 is because when the window opens, the cursor is placed at position 0, 0, and therefore it will start printing at position 0, 0. Okay, so what is important to understand, a printf prints to the console window at the current cursor position, wherever that cursor position is. Next week, we will place the cursor at any position on the screen and print at that position. Okay. Good. Okay, so we start the printf, will print at the current position. So we don't see any output. So none of these lines have executed at this point in time. So now we see line 8. Line 8 has executed. Now again, the getch is waiting. Now line 10 has executed. And then it's waiting, and I press a key, and then line 12 is executing. And now I don't see all these other code, because there's still one instruction, the one in line 13. It's waiting for me to press a key. And now once I press the key, it goes to return 0, and return 0 then ends my program. Okay. So what you should take away from this little program is that the code is executing from the top to the bottom, one instruction after the other. It doesn't jump around, and it goes from the top to the bottom. Okay. It's a little bit like saying if you swap things around the wrong way, you say, okay, so the train has left the station, and then you say in the next line, you get onto the train. I mean, you can't get onto the train if the train has already left the station. So the order should be, you get onto the train, and the train departs and leaves the station. Okay, if you mix up the code, then you're going to get the wrong sequence of events. Okay. So to illustrate that, let's ask some volunteer. So can somebody in the class volunteer for me to answer a couple of questions? Just raise your hand or open your microphone or something like that, and then we can have a quick discussion. Yes, Mr. Dube.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Fine, and yourself?
Okay, sir.
Thank you for volunteering. Okay, Mr. Dube, in the morning, before you go to TUT, explain to me, what do you do?
Okay, first you wake up.
Yeah.
And then you freshen up.
In the bed.
Oh, okay, you wake up. Sorry. You wake up, you get out of the bed.
Okay, now, before you get out of the bed, this wake up thing, how do you wake up? Is it because of the sun? Is it because of some rooster that is calling you? Is it your alarm? How do you wake up?
Okay, well, it depends. Sometimes it can be your alarm.
Okay.
Sometimes it might be your routine that you're right.
Okay. Okay. So now you get out of the bed. Is it on the left-hand side of the bed or the right-hand side of the bed?
Okay, let's say the right-hand side.
Okay. Now, if you get out of the bed, do you get out of the bed with all the blankets?
No, no, no.
Okay. So you wake up. Yeah, just open your microphone again. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so you wake up and then?
Okay, you wake up. That's when you become conscious, right? And then you pull the blankets to the side, and then you get up. Then walk out of the bed.
Do you get up on the bed or you swing your legs off, roll out of bed onto the floor? Okay, thank you for participating.
No problem.
The thing that I want to illustrate is that we as humans, when you say to me, okay, you get up in the morning and you freshen up before you get to school, I can imagine all the different steps that you are doing to get to that point where you have freshened up. A computer cannot do that. We have to instruct it one event after the other. Okay. So you cannot assume anything. If you do not give the instruction in the right order, in the right way, the computer will do the wrong things. Okay. Like standing up on top of the bed instead of swinging the legs out of the bed and then standing up, coming to an upright position, and then walking to the bathroom and leaving the blankets behind on the bed. Okay. So it's very, very important that when we write these little programs, it's easy to follow what I'm doing because I'm doing it. But when you have to do it, you have to think about, where is this \n? What is this \n doing? Does it make a difference whether I put it here or in the beginning of the next line? What is the sequence of events? Okay. You have to keep all of this in mind, and sometimes that can be kind of hard because you have to kind of see the end result before getting to the end result and then programming towards that end result. That's why it's so important that you really thoroughly understand these different instructions, different parts of the instructions, to what they are doing and how they are doing it. Because if you kind of just following and seeing and not really thoroughly understanding what I'm doing on my side, then you're going to end up with code which is kind of working, but it's not doing exactly what you want it to do. Okay, and it is like buying a cell phone, and it kind of opens, but then it kind of closes again, and you don't know how to make a call because the button for the call is not there, or if you press the button for the call, then it's not opening the call part. And okay. So it's important that that we understand that the sequence of events for a program is from the top to the bottom. It doesn't jump around, and the order in which you do things are very important. Okay, so we can see that each of these get CHs, what they are doing is to stop the program and wait for the user to input something. Okay, now the question still remains, this return 0, what does it do? Okay, we've seen before that if I change this, I should expect this value to be output to the console window. So let's see what happens when I run the program like this. Okay, see line 8. So the get ch is waiting. I press a key, line 8. There's a get ch, it's waiting for me. I press a key, and now suddenly I see this part. None of this executed. See, it says returned 0. It executed line 10, and what line 10 does, it goes back to the calling. Okay. So line 10, the moment that you get line 10, effectively what happens is from this line, it goes back to whatever called this main function, which in our case is the operating system. It is this green button that I press here. It calls this, and then this returns, and then effectively what happens is my program terminates. Okay, and it writes out this return value that I've instructed it to do. So the function of a return is to end the current function, to go back to the calling part. And the calling part in our case here is then the green button that started my program. Okay. Any questions on the sequence of events and the function of the return and what happens when I have a return? Yes, Mr. Dubé.
Also, I heard you mention that the return, it terminates the current function, right?
Yes.
So for an example, let's say I had void, né? And maybe
it will still terminate that function.
Will it terminate like the whole program or just the specific function that has the return?
Well, in our case, because there is only the main function, it will terminate the program.
Oh, okay. No, thank you, sir.
Later on, we are going to see how the return can be used to, under certain conditions, to terminate the program. So if, for instance, we encounter a problem like we want the user to open a specific file, but the file is not present, so I can't open the file, then I give an error. I can write out to the console window, say file not found, and then the program terminates because there is no file to be opened. And then I would like the program to stop because I can't continue with the program.
Okay, no, thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Good, thank you for the question. I appreciate it. You can just lower your hand. Thank you. Okay.
Sir?
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask if I'm allowed, you see on your side it said print line 8, and then the other side, the next line you said, let me see, print line 10, print line 12. Am I allowed to put those things in avoiding too much print? Let's say I use one print, then I break using the /n. Am I allowed?
Yes, you can do things like okay. So what is the difference between the two? Mr. Magneto?
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between it? Between this one and the previous one?
The same.
Is it? Doesn't the previous one stop in between each print?
So I think there were spaces in between.
No, it doesn't matter. The spaces doesn't matter. It prints it exactly the same way. The output looks the same. Okay. Let me just make a picture of this one, and then I'll go back to the other one, and we can make a picture of that one. So let's do this, and then so I see line 8, it waits. See line 10, it waits. See line 12, it waits. See the difference between the two? So although the output that I see is exactly the same, the way in which the program functions is different. Mr. Magneto?
Yes, I see.
Okay. So although the output, although you can do it that way, it depends on what your objective is. Okay. You can regard it a little bit like a man and a woman's way of doing things. A man will stop and do something, stop and do something, stop and do something, while a woman might do all of those things all at the same time. Okay. So it all depends on the result is the same thing. Okay. But what actually happens inside the program is two different things. One waits, prints, waits, prints, waits, prints. While the other one waits, prints everything, then waits, and then terminates. Okay. So if the output is the important thing, then you can do it all in the same printf. Okay. So we've learned a couple of things about the printf. we firstly saw that if we see the output of the printf, it means that particular line of code executed. The second thing that we saw is that the printf prints at the current cursor location. And then we saw that we've got some control over the cursor in terms of where it is on the screen. By using, for instance, a \n or a \r. And then we also saw that there are some special characters like inverted commas and backslashes that if we want to output those, then we have to say backslash, inverted commas, and backslash to have a backslash. Okay. So here I have an output on the right-hand side. Can anybody tell me what is supposed to happen?
So isn't it? It's waiting for you to press the any key,
okay.
Then it will print out line 8. Then skip to the next line, print out line 10, up until.
Okay, yes, you are kind of right. Okay, I made a couple of changes. So what is the program on now going to do?
Can you please go back to your program?
No, I can't go back to my program. I want you to tell me what the output is going to be here. Yes.
Line 8.
No, there's no line 8 or anything like that. You don't know what is in my program. Can you see my program? I made some changes. Okay.
So you want to know what the output?
Yeah, I want to know what I want to know what must happen here. Okay, there's no ways in which you can know what should happen here. The previous programs, because we are all writing the same program, and you can see what the program is all about, okay? You know what to expect because you can read the program. What does the user see? The user sees this output. Do the user know what to do? Did you tell the user what to do? Okay, so something which is very, very, very important. When we write code, we as the programmer, we know, because we can read the code here, what to do here. But our user, they do not necessarily know what to do. Therefore, it's important for me to instruct them what to do. Okay? So how would we do that? Okay, so the suggestion is print f semicolon, and okay, so please press a key to continue. So now my user will know what to do. So now they press a key and it prints line out. So what now? Okay, so you can see that inside my program, the printf has many different functions. One function is to inform the user of what to do. Another function of it is to write out code which now has meaning for me as the programmer, which I can use to understand the status of my program. Okay, so the printf has many different roles, and me as the programmer, I decide what that specific role at that moment in time is going to be. Is it going to be to inform the user of something? Or is its function to inform me, the programmer, of something? Okay. So the printf, although we started off by saying, well, you know, the printf is used to output to the console window. I need to understand as a programmer, how am I going to use that printf? Okay. Over and above the fact that I can control some formatting of where on the screen the output is going to be by using things like \n, \r, \b, \t. I need to decide how that printf and what type of work that printf is going to do. You, as the programmer, decide. So the printf can be a simple message to the user, and it can also be a simple message to the programmer, because we are testing things and we want to know what is going on. Okay. Once we are done, the code which we don't need anymore. We can just comment those out, and then our program is running normally. Okay. Any questions on the printf and how it functions and what roles it plays and how I can use it, how I can control it? Okay. I see somebody's typing. Okay, at this point in time, the control we have is fairly limited. We only have in terms of the cursor itself, these four basic ones, where this goes to the beginning of the next line. This one goes to the beginning of the current line. We have vertical ones as well. This one goes back one space, and this one goes forward one space. Correct. T, horizontal tab, yeah. Vertical tab. Okay. Backspace. Yeah. Okay, and then okay, so the only one that goes back is this one here. This goes forward. This goes down. This one goes back to the previous line, and this one goes back to the next line. Okay, so we can use, for instance, a combination of these to move the cursor to a previous line. So let's see if we can use those a combination of these to go back to overwrite this line with this line. Okay. So currently, what happens is, let me just do this, backslash n, and I've got a space in here which I don't want. Okay. So these lines are printing one after the other like that. So this last line, I don't want it to print here. I want it to overwrite this line. Okay. Can you use these to move the cursor so that it will overwrite this one? I'll give you a couple of minutes if somebody has it as managed, just with backslash R, backslash B, backslash T, backslash V, being able to overwrite that line, then throw me a thumbs up. Okay, so backslash T moves it from here to there. So backslash T is not what I want. Okay, so let's do backslash V and see what it does. Line 9, line. No, come on, really. B. Compile. Line 9, line 11. Okay, so \v is giving me a funny character, so this vertical tab thingy is not working. So that's not doing what it's supposed to do, or what I expect it to do. So \v is not working. Okay, so let's see \. So \v not working. \b. Let's put a B in here and see what happens. Okay, so \b is doing something, but I don't know exactly what it is doing. So let's put something in front of it and see what that does. Okay, so \b moves the cursor back one position. So let's do 2 of them and see what that does. Okay. So this doesn't move it back up one line. Okay, so that is not going to help us. So although it can move back, it cannot move back to the previous line. Okay. And then what we can do is we can do \r back to the beginning of that line. So after this, we can go back to the beginning of the line and we can overwrite the second line. So that's how Mr. LM did it, is to put a \r here, and then it moves to the beginning of the line. Okay. Okay. Okay, so there is no escape sequence at this point in time that will take me back to the previous line. Okay, so I don't see any one of these taking me back to the previous line. So we will not be able to, we can go to the beginning of the same line, but we cannot move up one line. So what we need to take away from this is that although some of these things look like they can help us to achieve something, I would have expected this to go back to the end of the previous line. But because of the printf statement and the way in which things are constructed, it doesn't, it just goes back one space. This just goes back all the way in one line. It doesn't go back another line to the previous one. So unfortunately, just using printfs, we cannot go back and change this line. There is another method, which I will teach you next week, that we can use to do so, but for the moment we cannot control the cursor downwards, sure, to the right, yes, but going, so left and right, by using either spaces or tabs, we can go to the right, and moving to the left, we can use \B. So yeah, left and right is not a problem, but up and down, we cannot do up and down. So that's a problem. Well, not a problem, but it makes our lives difficult, and we have to find other ways, methods of positioning the cursor. Okay. How's it looking on your side? Everybody on the same page? Do you understand how these things work and how I can employ them and how I can not employ them? Somebody muted me. Okay. So we can see that there are ways of using this. Some of them help me, and some of them doesn't help me. So we need to find different methods then of attaining our goals. We will look at that in later classes. Okay, everybody comfortable with the printf up to this point, what it can do and what it can't do? Any other questions that you might have at this point in time? Thank you for the feedback, appreciate it. Okay. I'm going to leave it at this point, and then tomorrow morning we will continue with the printf and then start to learn a couple of things with the getch as well. Okay, if there's no other questions, then I'm going to ask you to play around with this and make sure that you are... Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. How are you, sir?
Fine, and yourself?
I'm fine. What does this character R do? Because I was checking it on my side. After, okay, on my program, I have a getch before that line that has a character R. So when I click, after clicking a character, it shows line 9, and then after I click another key, it cancels that line that has a character R. what does this character R do basically?
Okay, it takes the cursor to the beginning of the line. Okay, so my cursor is over here. Then it prints line 9. Because of the \n, it goes to the beginning of the next line. Then it prints line 11. The cursor is at this position over here. And then if I do this \r, it takes it to the beginning of the line. And now if I press it again, this line will replace this line.
Oh, okay. Line you didn't. Oh, sorry.
No, sir, I get it. I understand. Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. Okay. As long as you understand, it's good.
Thanks.
So, sir, R is a matter of like taking the cursor back to the start of the line, then it replaces that line with a new line below it.
R just moves the cursor to the beginning of the line, and then the printf, this printf prints at the current cursor position. Remember when we started with the class, printf prints at the current cursor position. So where's the cursor position? It's here. So line 9 is printed there. This \n forces the cursor to go to the next line. Where do we expect the output? Here. So that's line 11. So there's nothing to move the cursor here. So I expect the rest to follow here. Then when I press the key, now there was the \r. So it moves the cursor to the beginning of the line. So where do I expect the output to start from? At this position, which is this output here. Okay. Maybe I should do it like this. Sorry. Line 9 to the beginning, line 11, back to the beginning, and then all of this junk. And then to the beginning.
Okay, so it's the same as like having to say like line 9, then line 11. Let's say maybe in this case you're using \b. You said it's one space back. So once you run or press any key again, the program will start from the where the cursor is.
Yeah, so the printf always prints from where the cursor is.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay. It's important that you practice with these things, read more about it. There's only so much time that I can spend on certain aspects. If you want to learn more, you have to read and play. Okay, so all of those resources that I have given you access to on the website and in your handbook and so on, please use them, find out more, and get to know these things, play with them. Okay. So although the class is now stopping within the next couple of minutes, you still have 1 hour of class left. Don't lie on the bed and think about things. Play with these things for the next hour. Use the time. to find out more and to see if you get stuck, and then we can talk about those things tomorrow. I don't think so. That will just remove the please press a key part. So that moves this line and rewrites that one. So that's okay. But if I want to rewrite this line here with this line, then it's impossible. So yeah, you can rewrite the current line. So I can print all of them at the top here. That's not a problem, but I can't print down and then move backwards up. That I can't do, which is something which I want to be able to do. Okay. Good. Any other questions? If you do find a way of moving the cursor back using printfs, I'd like to know about that. You can share that with us then tomorrow. Okay, guys, have a super afternoon, and I will speak to you in the morning. Enjoy your little bit of programming. Cheers, guys.